Nou, Katia De Vallier het onlangs op 'n baie tragiese manier haar perd verloor. Sy gaan vir ons nou meer daaroor vertel en sy het toe 'n lied vir haar perd geskryf en dit het ook gehelp met 'n fondsinsamelingsprojek vir die Highveld Horse Care Unit. Sy gesels vanoggend met ons oor haar liedjie en Joanne Pursey van die Highveld Horse Care Unit is ook hier by ons om vir ons meer oor die organisasie te vertel. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
We do
very
appreciate
much.
it.
Katia, we've been talking about your horse and how you tragically lost not just a horse or a pet, but your best friend. Tell us about that.
So I had Gotuk Nana was her name. She was bred out at a lovely little stud in Delmas called Gotuk Burpertstut. And I had her for 10 years. I would say I got her sort of by accident. I didn't mean to buy a horse, but I did. And, you know, we sort of went through the motions together and we grew together. And, you know, 10 years is a long time. And she was a constant in my life. And I had always sort of envisioned her one day being, you know, my daughter's horse and, you know, growing really old with me and having this wonderful life. And very tragically, in May this year, I'm sorry, I might get a bit emotional about it again. I lost her in an accident that I unfortunately witnessed. I was there and she fell and she broke her neck and she died instantaneously, and it was a very, very, very difficult thing to see and to go through, and it put me in a very, very dark place. And I turned to music, and for the first time I wrote my own original song that I decided, you know, I'm going to put this out there for anyone who's ever experienced a loss like this, to help them, you know, just find the, you know, the cathartic experience that it helped me feel, the process of writing and just listening to the song. And that's what I did. And then when the song was together, I said to myself, you know, that's not enough. And, you know, in memory of my horse and just to help other horses out there, I called up Joanne from HHCU and I said, let's do the Watch Over Me project, and I want to raise as much awareness as I possibly can for the work that Highveld does.
Wow. Sure. You know, a lot of people actually commented on our Facebook page this morning about the difficulty of actually losing an animal or losing your pet. But somebody might be watching this morning and they can't understand or comprehend this relationship that I can see you had with your horse and this trauma. What would you say to such a viewer, and what made this relationship between you and the horse so special?
You know, when I first got her, I had just moved out of home and I hadn't ridden for many years, and I just sort of stumbled upon this horse, and, you know, I started riding. I was helping the school out with her because she was a bit unruly in her younger days, and, you know, in training her and being with her, we just developed a bond. And then when the owner wanted to sell, I said, hang on, no, and went to my savings and saw what I had, and I bought her, and by hook or by crook, you know, I kept her, and I promised that I would love her until the day that she passed away. And she was just a constant in my life. If I was having a bad day, if I was having a hard time, I would just go, I'd grab the grooming kit brushes and I'd go sit and I'd talk to her and brush her. And, you know, yeah, she's a horse, she can't talk back, and they don't really like feel the same way that we do. But, you know, she just was there for me in all of these very difficult times. And, you know, she saw me through life. I've had so many life changes while in the 10 years that I had her, but she was a constant.
Yes.
You know, so it's just that loss of losing that constant where you also kind of realize, you know, how special life is, and, you know, not every day is a given. Especially
Absolutely.
because I just expected her to be with me until she was super, super old. No one ever thought that, you know, an accident could happen the way that it did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joanne, at HHCU, you do incredible work for horses. If I'm not mistaken, you look after about 8,000, or you impact about 8,000 horses. Tell us about the work you do.
Okay, well, with Katia, I have to probably explain. Most of us have got cats and dogs. Having a horse is very much the same as the relationship you have with a dog and a cat. So I think that will probably make us all realize the passion that we have for our animals. Now, Highveld Horse Care, we're a big organization, and which Katia and I both support mostly, is we have a big outreach program. So apart from the people who are complaining about horses that are thin, apart from people who can no longer afford their horses, that surrender them to us. We do adoptions. So we do a lot of work in the equine industry, but both of our passion has actually been away from the sport of horses, and we run about 13 different areas in an outreach program. So what we're helping is those people who are using the horses for moving water.
Yes.
You don't have a tap. These people are using their equines to fetch water, to take water to their house. Now, there is no more simple possible way of that is, you know, these people
Their way
are
of
desperate, they're underprivileged.
Yeah.
So we run in about 13 different areas where we go out into the different areas and we help with tack for their harnessing, we help with the shoeing, we help with any medical. Some of the animals need medical attention, so we'll actually bring them into the unit, we will help them medically, send them back and charge them a minimal fee.
Yes.
We've actually got such a good relationship in the outreach areas that they give us a ring and say, look, we've got a problem now, our horse is having a fall, we need your help. But all of this takes money.
Yes.
So my big passion is fundraising for the outreach program, and Katia is trying to support Highveld in raising money for us to be able to go out there and carry on with the outreach that we do.
And
Wow.
just raising awareness.
I think
Yeah.
it's beautiful that you used this tragic story, your testimony, to make a difference for someone else and so many different people, and that, you know, you joined hands and went, but this is the impact we can actually have around us while still using your passion for horses. I think it's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
You mentioned now that you work in rural areas, for instance, and I know I've seen them use horses and donkeys in rural areas for various things. What are some of the most difficult situations that you find these horses or donkeys in?
Well, to start with, I think someone who is moving water does not have spare money to go and put a correct bit in its mouth or to buy the right harnessing. They do not have the funds. But the horse is their vehicle to be able to get the water. So they actually love their horse as much as you love your horse, and yours is recreational. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to help those owners look after their horses the best they can for them to be able to carry on the work that they do. But if you go onto our Facebook page and that, they're all the most beautiful horses. I mean, I've seen one photo which always catches my eye, is this beautiful chestnut. He is fat, he is shiny, he is beautiful, and the man who owns is living in a shack.
Yeah.
His horse is his vehicle, it is his living, and we want to be there for them, to help them, because these areas are very underprivileged. And a lot of people will say, take the horse away. It doesn't help taking the horse away. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to assist the people to be able to have their horses, to able to put food on their family's table.
Katia, how did the song that you write, how is it helping in terms of fundraising?
So all of the proceeds that are coming from the song will be going to the Highveld Horse Care Unit. The Watch Over Me project has also made a donation out of our own. And yeah, we're just doing our best to get the word out there about the song and to drag Joanne along with me everywhere I go, so she can
She's
also...
not dragging me. This is all called awareness, which I say. It's just awareness, awareness, awareness.
Bringing Joanne
Which
along to
you have
speak
been
about
doing.
what you do, and so that people know. Because
Yeah.
like, you know, my big thing is a lot of people think horses are just recreation, but they
Yes.
don't actually realize that out there's someone who's getting to work every day on his horse. You
In
know, and-
Orange Farms alone, there's 350 horses.
Wow.
Wow.
Just in Orange Farms.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
look after 13 areas.
Sure.
Wow.
So if people would like to get involved, we only have like 30 seconds left. They want to get
Yes.
involved, they want to help. How do they do it? How do we locate the song? That's the first part of my quick question. And then secondly, who's this?
Okay, so which one are we going to go?
Okay, so on my social media page at Katia De Vallier, you will find links to Highveld Horse Care and also Highveld Horse Care Unit. You can search them on Facebook and on Instagram.
There we have Joanne. Who's this? Within 10 seconds.
Okay, this is Harry the horse. A lot of people know him. He is the happy side of animal welfare, and he raised 1 million rand in 3 years, just for example. So he's here today because he has to go everywhere with me because he's just...
He's nice to look at.
Wow,
He's
Harry's
cute
a
to look
horse.
at. So he's Harry the horse, and he's the happier side of the welfare.
Wow, there you have it. Thank you so much for the
Thank
work
you.
that you do and for sharing the information
Thank
with us
you.
today.
We really
Baie
appreciate
dankie.
it. Thank
Dit
you.
was natuurlik Katia De Vallier wat hierdie pragtige liedjie geskryf het om te help met fondsinsameling en natuurlik ook Joanne Pursey van die Highveld Horse Care Unit. Baie dankie dat jy steeds ingeskakel is. Bly net waar jy is.